Where do you think infosec is going with all this AI stuff? Right? I feel like one side of the camp is like, oh, it's going to eliminate all of those jobs. Like infosec won't even be a thing, IT won't be a thing, coding won't be a thing, and then we go and look at like the AWS outage, and conveniently, like 2 months ago, the CEO said that like something like 75% of their code is all written by AI, and then they have a massive outage a little bit later, right? So to me, the skeptic in me is saying, yeah, but there's a whole lot of other variables that AI model would have to figure out, to be able to do my work. And on the other side, right, the stuff I'm researching with my PhD might be a little bit closer than I want to admit. So where do you fall in it?
Well, I like to try to, whenever we talk about AI, it's like this new technology, and I like to try to unwind the technology and see where we'd be comfortable as security people, right? And me looking at firewall logs, there's too much happening. Me looking at NetFlow logs, there's too much happening. Me looking at packet capture, there is too much happening for my human eyes and brain to find what's in this. I need technology to help me, right? I need a SIM, I need a logger, I need some sort of analytics tool to parse through this and read it for me because I can't do it. And then I need some sort of tool to set up for alerts. Say, hey, if you see this in the logs, look for it. And so this is a huge step in cybersecurity already, which is, here's a computer that can chug through millions of syslogs and NetFlow and packet capture data a second and handle it just fine. And it can see all the stuff going on. And I say, okay, great. Yeah, I can't do that on my own. And so does that mean, we've just eliminated a million jobs because I would take a million people to look through these million logs a second, right? Like it doesn't quite equal that. In my head, it's more like, oh, now we have functionality and capability we've never had before. Now we're able to secure the place in a way that we've never been able to secure before because of these tools. And I look at that as a net positive. This is great. And suddenly, and now I have total visibility into something I've never been able to do before. I mean, we could even look at it as our own selves. Like we used to study sleep in humans, right? How do humans sleep? Historically, like in the 70s and before, trying to we could put up sensors on your brain, but trying to log all that sensors typically went to like a printout and a sheet of paper, and then you'd have stacks and stacks of paper, and you'd have all these like waves and metrics on your sleep. And a human would try to have to go through that. And it's just like, this is a very expensive sleep study. But now we have like watch that can just like, you strap it on your wrist and it's like, now I can watch your sleep and I have infinite like, data storage to just store logs and stuff. And so this is fantastic that we have these abilities to process so much more information than we ever had before. And now it's like, okay, well, I'm the one who has to tell you how to make sense of this information, computer. Like, yeah, I'm telling you to look for this sort of thing because you don't know that sort of thing. But now we're saying, hey, wait, the AI has these ideas where it's like, you know what? If I were looking for a threat, this is where I would be looking. And it's got its own ideas of how to hide things, how to obfuscate, and then how to discover those things and detect it. And if it can give us things that we never thought of. Like, I think we're going to go through like a zero knowledge phase. I don't know if that's a term or not, but the idea is we think we know what we're trying to accomplish. But I think there's going to be some tools that come out that are going to say, that's not what you're trying to accomplish. Go back to not square one, but square zero. And we're going to solve a different problem, but it's going to have a way better outcome than what we wanted from what you were trying to do. And this is going to have just a revolutionary different approach to securing things and building and all this sort of thing. The building thing is not what you're asking though. You're not saying, hey, what about building with AI? You're saying, what about security with AI? And I think having these tools at our disposal is incredibly powerful to do it. And like when Copilot first came out, I'm thinking GitHub's Copilot of like, hey, we've got this tool that can help you build. And I'm thinking, my first thought was, no, I don't want it to help me build. I want it to help me be secure. And if we can have these tools check for buffer overflows or check for insecure credentials or something like that, and 100% like start with the unit testing and make sure that these 5,000 things check, go through the OWASP top 10 first and foremost on my code, and always prioritize that before giving me any other suggestions. I think there is a possibility that we can get to building phase that building apps and stuff that are secure by design that don't even have the option of a human making an error and making it insecure, which will be fantastic. But that's not what Copilot's doing. It's giving you all kinds of recommendations on like, here's how to build this for loop and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I want you to be secure. So it's cool that these tools exist to help us build, but I really want their focus to be on making it more secure. And I think with that, there's huge potential and possibility here.
Yeah, I view it as something that will be disruptive in the very beginning, like right now, I guess, but people will shift their view of it into, using this AI to help me be more productive, to help me cut through, all that manual process work that I would have to normally go through to achieve the same goal. I
But
feel
again,
like
it's a
right
manual
now,
process that we weren't doing to begin with. We weren't looking at 1 million packets and trying to
right.
figure out what was happening. We never even tried that challenge. We were giving computers that challenge from the beginning. So when you say this manual process, what process are you thinking we're doing manually now? Isn't going to just be like, that's a process like 3 years from now, we're doing processes with AI. I don't think we were doing today, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't think we're doing.
I think, so I look at a lot of, people's environments in the cloud and whatnot. And there's a lot of customers of Wiz, for instance, that they have Wiz, they plugged it in, right? Or whatever CSPM solution they have, and they don't know what to do with it, right? Because the solution is great. It has all of the findings, it has everything in it that you need to pull all the information together. It even categorizes it, but it doesn't prioritize anything. Should I prioritize this medium that gets people access to my environment that I'm not suspecting, or should I prioritize this critical that's already within the network that isn't really a critical in terms of access and ability for people to exploit it? So I think that that's where it'll, kind of come in and assist, so to speak.
Yeah,
At
I
least
mean,
that's my opinion.
I just imagine if we had like extra capabilities that we've never had before. That is a special feature. Not so much, oh, we're taking these 10 people and taking it down to one because this just does it more efficiently. But no, we're able to do things we've never done before. And that's by making sense of the data in new ways that like making new rules, looking for new kinds of threats. Yeah, I mean, the attackers have, and this has always been an arms race in cybersecurity, right? The attackers get this new exploit, they get this new attack tool, and then we have to figure out a way to defend it. We make signatures, we make detection rolls, whatever, and spot it. And it's been a cat and mouse game, and it's going to be like that with AI as well, where the AI gives the attackers new ways to do things, change voices, clone emails, whatever. It's going to be new attack surfaces that we may not have expected as well, and that we have the tools as well to like, okay, hey AI, you're being used to make these sort of attacks. What would you do to detect those sort of attacks, right? And so it's nice that we have sort of the equal playing ground for these kind of attacks and defense thing that we have to do. And if you think about some sort of historically as well, is there might have been some nation state level actors that have access to maybe some kinds of technology similar to this that we didn't have commercially because it just was out of we didn't have the budget to research it and stuff. And now it's kind of exciting to see these commercial companies building these. I probably imagine that some of this AI stuff is way better than what the government can produce, right? And so I feel like the technology was asymmetric for a long time where they had access to stuff that we didn't. And now I think it's like, nope, we've got the same tools as you. What are you going to do now? And that is a whole new thing as well, I think, which is like an even playing field.